listen. Okay, I think I found it. Hello and welcome to Pearls Politics. Yes, we have been away for a little bit, and I thought we'll come in tonight and just give a brief update on what's going on with politics. Um, just going to touch on a few little topics: local, national, and I don't know if I'm going to do international or not because international is a mess. Join now, okay? So you can see I am solo tonight. The Heartbeat of the South, my co host, Tim Harrington, the son half of the show, is unavailable tonight. So it's just going to be me. I'm just going to give y'all a few updates of what's been going on. So I want to start with local. In local news, um, we have a city school system that is kind of in a maze, AMAZE. Seems like always something going on. Nothing can get settled. The state of Tennessee is talking about coming in, taking over the Memphis City school system. And just recently, let's see if I can find the article. Recently, they just had a audit that came down. Mm, okay. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, I'm going to bring it up. Okay. Memphis City school system. The state did an audit on our school system down here, and it said that the new MSCS audits show unchecked payroll logs and unauthorized stipends and other discrepancies. Wow. The annual school audit released by the Tennessee Comptroller's Office in January showed discrepancies in some of the spending and bookkeeping within Memphis Shelby County schools. In one audit, and this is from July 2024 to June 2025. In one audit, it said that employees who were terminated were still on the payroll. Wow. So wondered, will they have to pay back that money? Was it the school board error, or was somebody in there cheating and giving them the money, paying them, and they know they weren't, that they were terminated? That needs to be looked into. But anyway, one way or the other, that money needs to go back into the system. And from my point of view, right? Then it said timesheets were improperly approved. So that meaning that whoever approved the timesheets is the person that's responsible, and that resulted in additional payments being made to the terminated employees. Okay. Let's see what was the other one. I think it was a second audit. Said from the same time frame, it showed that spending and records from individual schools across the district, several thousand instances of noncompliance, including 49 schools where teacher receipt books were not adequately maintained or prepared for. Wow. Okay. That's not good. Okay. What's going on there? I mean, that's what they supposed to do, right? You're supposed to keep the records going right. And I don't know why they can't keep the records going right. Hi, Linda. That's Linda Paris. Thank you for joining in. I'm not going to be here long, about 30 minutes or so. And I'm just talking about local right now. Then I'm going to go on into um, talk about national. Yeah, moving right along, right on in that. Ah, okay. And so the State of the Union came in. Oh, thank you, Linda. Well, you have a pretty face too. You know that. And I love your dog. How's your baby doing? Yeah, I kind of keep up with y'all. I'm not on the platform as much as I used to be. I just kind of do my shows. Um, just been kind of resting up, uh, trying to get healthier, and that sort of thing. So, but the shows must go on, right, Linda? All right, so we watched the State of the Union address, and I can remember in school we had to learn the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm just wondering. It came to my mind. I was looking at all those senators, Congress people that were in um, the joint session, and I said to myself, I'll just bet you probably only half of them, if even half of them, know the Pledge of Allegiance. And I think, this is what I think. I think it would be nice that when they have the State of the Union joint session like that, that the Pledge of Allegiance should be done. And I think they should put the Pledge of Allegiance back into the school system because it was required for us. We had to say it every morning, right? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and y'all remember that? When it stands one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all. So, do we have uh, a union, a state that is indivisible? No, we don't. We could tell that from what we saw in action with our own eyes, um, the division that was in the joint session. The two parties were not united. So if you don't have a united Congress, you do not have a united state, you do not have a united union. So to say that the state is strong is definitely incorrect. Whoever says it, it's wrong. It's just wrong. Because if the Congress is not unified, and that's what the pledge to the country is, indivisible, under God, the nation supposed to be indivisible. That means undivided, right? But we did not see indivisible. We saw division, much of it. And I'm not gonna call on I just took two main takeaways. I'm not gonna go over what was said because y'all saw it. Y'all know what was said, and what wasn't said. But I took away a couple of points. That was one of them. I think the Pledge of Allegiance should be done by the congressman, by the Congress and the Senate, everybody. I think they should stand before the president speaks and do the Pledge of Allegiance and then be seated. Okay. The other thing that I took away was too much, um, what do you call it? Spotlighting, or I watched the House of Commons over in England. You know, I know how they do. They go, yeah, yeah, yeah. They beat on the table, and yeah, and stand up and stuff like that. And we never had that before at our State of the Union. That we had the clapping. They would sit down clapping while seated, right? So now they're having the party, um, the favorite party, or the majority party, I should say, stand up and clap after everything that the president says. That union address is 2 hours long. In first place, that's too long for a State of the Union address. And yeah, it did go down in history as the longest one. And I've been seeing posts that say that it was the best one ever. I cannot agree with that. And the reason why I don't agree with that is because Linda said, yeah, that's a great idea. They should do the pledge. They probably don't even know it. They probably don't even know it, Linda. If somebody were to walk up to them with a microphone and say, Senator, a congressman, a congresswoman, uh, could just recite the Pledge of Allegiance and put a microphone in their face, they wouldn't be able to say it because they don't know it. I think they should learn it, and then it should be said before the State of the Union address is done. Anyway, the other thing that I took away from it was there were a lot of medals that were given out, recognitions, special guests that were invited, and I think that they all deserved it. But what I did not see, and I know that we've got what, about 350 billion people in the country, and I know that we have a lot of African American veterans that served in the military, all branches, all four branches. And I know that I feel that whoever put this together should have found at least one deserving African American veteran, World War I or World War II or whatever, to be included. So there was no inclusion in the medals that were given out or recognitions that were given out for uh, not a single African American. And the reason why I pointed that out is because people might not know this, but no president can win an election without a certain percentage of the black vote. They call it the black vote. I call it African American vote. Okay. And the reason why I call it African American vote is because um, I really, in my older age, I don't like calling African Americans black. I don't, because black is black, like a black car. Okay. They're African Americans. We are people of color. I don't like calling Caucasians white because I've never seen a white person in my life. A white is a white picket fence. I've never seen a person like that with that color. Okay. That I've seen many Caucasians of different skin tones. Okay. So I think that they should have had that, at least one veteran, to give a recognition to. The other thing was a division from the opposite party of the majority party, which were, in this case, the Democrats. And the Democrats would not applaud or stand up for uh, things that were said that even they could have stood up for or clapped for. And the one thing that I saw, and President Trump kind of gave a sucker punch when he set the trap for them. And y'all know Donald is good at setting traps. They should have already known that a trap was going to be set for the Democrats. When he asked them, he said, "I want every legislative person to if you agree with this, to stand." And he said, "Do you agree that we should protect American citizens and not illegal aliens?" So the Republican Party stood up, clapped. Not one single Democrat stood up. Now, to me, okay, we understand that the minor party was boycotting. We understand that the minor party was not going to be applauding or supportive, right? But when a trap is set for you, you should stand up, even if you don't feel like you agree with it, even if you don't like it. But when the fact is a true fact, and putting a spotlight on you and your party, you should have stood up. That was that blew me away. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that they accepted that sucker punch that just was thrown their way. Because if I had been there, and that's why I don't never did get in politics. I love it, but as for getting in it, nah. Mm-mm. But had I been there as a congressperson or a senator, I would have stood up simply because it's just a true fact. I believe that American citizens, we American citizens should be protected rather than illegal aliens and drug cartels. I mean, that's just common sense, right? So I would have stood up, but they didn't. So anyway, that's why I say one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all just was not in the address. And the thing of it is, that's not the only state address or president with that gave us state of address union that did not include those four elements. I think that all state of the union addresses from presidents, all of them, should be inclusive and the content should be centered around at least part of the address, not the whole address, but the main point should be one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all. None of that was there. Okay. I did hear mentioning of God, but um, not to the depths of when it comes to the nation itself. Okay. All right, then. So, uh, yeah, I watched it. It was long, but I had to watch it because what? That's what I follow. I follow politics, so I have to know what's going on. Now, to the Epstein files. Ooh, ooh. We got a laugh on that one, right? Okay, so I heard last week that the Epstein files had got hacked, and that a lot of things had come out. And when they came out, they were immediately blacked out uh, by some woman um, that blacked out a lot of it, and they took out a lot of it, and they're not gonna, show it, and it's not gonna allow it to come up in court and all that kind of stuff. Look, what's done in the dark, y'all, will definitely come to the light. It may not be right now, but it's gonna still come out. And the way that these people, I don't know where they come from. I mean, they could be here in this country or other countries, but the way these hackers and scammers know how to use that technology, it's gonna still get out there regardless. So uh, you can't hide. I mean, it's been 50 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but you did it. You did it. So just let it go. You know, what was that song that they had in that movie? Let it go, something like that. The movie, the kids are crazy about it. Let it go. We all did some mistakes when we were younger. Y'all just did some bad ones, though. Y'all should have known better than that. And I do. People gonna have a problem with that because a lot of these young ladies were underage with the regarding these Epstein files. And why was the files kept on them anyway? Why was Epstein was keeping a black book on everybody, right? So he'd have some leverage. Uh-huh. So that's why he was getting away with all that stuff. But I look at the other side of this. Why in the world? Where were the parents of these underage girls that were attending these parties? Why were they allowing their young girls to go and be around these men? Did they do it for the money? Huh? Probably. Greed is one of the seven deadly sins. I talk about it all the time. But you do have these types of parents that um, will put their kids in harm's way, and they don't think that they are doing that at the time, but they'll put their kids in harm's ways for money, and I'm pretty sure they got paid very well. Um, but yeah, yeah, yeah. The people that did the wrong, the men that did the wrong, and the women probably too, uh, are just not. They're not the only ones to blame. The parents of these underage young ladies are also to blame. Okay, because they allowed their daughters to be available to attend the Epstein parties. Well, that's the way I see it. And like I say, it's always two sides to a story. Okay. So therefore, um, you can't, the blame is not just on the person that did the crime. The blame is also on the parents who allowed their daughters to be subjected to be available for the crime to be committed towards them. I don't, and I know they're gonna say, "Well, I didn't know." Yeah, well, you should have gone with the kid because you knew it was gonna be grown men there, right? Okay, that's what I like to say. You should have gone with your kid. Yeah, if your kid, if you were gonna allow your underage daughter to go to that type of party, for perhaps trying to get a modeling contract or whatever, you should have gone with the kid. You should have gone with your daughter. Because let me tell you something. When people drink and parties, people drink a lot of alcohol, and then they all do drugs and things too. Uh, that's not a good mix. That's not a good mix at all for underage young people to be around. Uh, anyway, that's national. International. I understand that we have some military jets and ships and stuff around the Middle East, right? Okay. All I can say about that is, Donald, look, that's a mistake. Okay. That is not a good thing to do. That is not wise at all. Because it makes you look like a bully. Okay. And the reason why I say it's not a good idea, because we have the triad. What is the triad? Russia, China, Iran have, and North Korea actually. So I guess it's a quad. They have an agreement, peace agreement, joint peace agreement that they're going to protect each other. They did that year before last, because I watched the conference. There was 53 countries that went to this country and signed this treaty with Mr. Putin of Russia. And they have an agreement for defense to help each other should the need arise. So, us going with ships and jets and stuff flying around that territory and what have you, that to me, that's bullying. It's like you're bullying, asking for trouble. I wouldn't do it. Diplomacy is the best way to handle those sort of things. Meet face to face, eye to eye. Okay? Start doing that, because the bullying with the war toys is not going to do anything but bankrupt us economically, as well as put us in harm's way. Because we don't really know. Y'all think y'all know what type of military toys that these other countries have, but you really, really don't know because you're not over there. So we'll be taking a risk. Okay. So anyway, um, so much for the international on that. The other thing about I just want point I want to bring up though about the economy. The the economy is not doing well. They said so that again that means that the state is not strong. If the whole country's economy is not doing well, no, it's not. I got an article here where Kroger is going to close 60 stores. 60 or 66. Let me find it. National grocery store chain to shutter. Shutter means close 60 stores after reporting sales decline. Now, if you got 60 Kroger grocery stores that's going to close across the country because they say that there is a decline in sales, that means people don't got no money to spend on groceries. That's what that means. So the economy is not doing well. So the state is not strong, Donald. No, it's not. It's strong for those of you who have a six-figure income. Yeah, it's strong for y'all, but it's not strong for us at all. And I just wanted to make note of that. Look, I love both sides. I do. I love the Republicans. I love the Democrats. And I can say about it, say, well, no, you got to pick one side. No, I don't. We're supposed to love each other and everybody. We can disagree with their policies, but you're not supposed to hate them. I love both sides. I love the Democrats and I love Republicans. Okay? And I love the right. If the Republicans are right, I like it. If the Republicans are wrong, I don't like it. If the Democrats are right, I like it. If the Democrats are wrong, I don't like it. And that's just the way I am. So, because right is right. So, you don't agree with your party if it's wrong, if what they're doing is wrong, just because it's your party. That's just like if somebody your best friend go take you to the highest bridge in the country with all a body of water on it, like the Mississippi River, and tell you to jump off of it, but they're not gonna jump. But you're gonna jump just because of your best friend told you? Mm-mm. No. It's the same way in politics. You know, if you got to walk the straight and narrow when you are a politician, and we have very few of them that do that now. Very few. And the reason why is because they're always doing something they don't have any business doing, and then people get a little black book dirt on them and hold it over their heads and blackmail them and threaten them with it. Politics is dirty business. It really is. Well, one thing I can say about Donald, though, uh, he did miss his calling. He is a great comedian. I did like he had me laughing at a couple of things. At the way that he phrased some things. It just came down, it just came down, it just came down. Something said he would be a great comedian. So maybe when he um, leads the presidency this time, he might revert or take up a new hobby and be a comic comedian because he can say some funny things to me. I don't know if it's funny to anybody else or not, but you can say some funny things. I had a couple of laughs. But yeah, next time to whoever the president is that does a State of the Union, I guess it'll be Donald won it because he got another 3 years. Do they do the State of the Union every year? I guess so. Yeah, I think so. Next time, Donald, please, not 2 hours, okay? Come on now. Do us about 40, 45 minutes, like I do my show. 30 minutes. It's 7:31 now, and I'm fixing to go. Whoops, that. Y'all remember the deadly sins, seven deadly sins. I think I just got a package delivered. I gotta check it out. Okay. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow night on the Emily Pearl Show. Good night.